Well, great win. They're hard to come by, and that locker room, man, they kept playing, those guys, and the coaches kept coaching. Wasn't pretty at times, and so we'll learn. Got a lot to learn from this game, and it's always good that you can learn after a win than after a loss. Whenever you're trying to start a season as a coach, it's important that you get that you can win a close one, and because it helps the buy-in, and got a lot of new faces in that locker room, and guys got a chance tonight to experience coming together as a team for the first time, and experience Buffalo, city of winners, right? So great win for our team, great win for our community, and Bills Mafia overall. So couldn't be prouder. Happy for Matt just joining us here and being able to do that. There's a lot that went into it before that, but just awesome to execute at that level with the game on the line.
We just talked to Matt about his week. What did you see out of him? I know you told us Friday that was the first day you were really seeing him kick. Just what was it like seeing him navigate the last, 72 hours or whatever it is?
Yeah, true. I mean, right away you could just tell that he's been in the league a long time. He's a true pro. Just honestly, watching him Friday, you guys were there for part of it, but we were in red zone, and then I'd turn around and watch Matt kick because that was his first time really kicking for us. So we could get a feel for, what his distance is. And then we stayed after a little bit to watch him again, and just again trying to build familiarity with our kicker, right? So it was a little bit windier then than it was tonight, so that was a little bit of a different environment, I'd call it. But Matt's a true pro. I think he may own the record. I'm not sure of like fourth quarter walk-off kicks to win a game. So don't quote me on that, but you may want to do some research. But I'm very confident in him when he went out there. I think just handling that situation overall. You guys are at practice. You see us handle some of those or rehearse some of those situations where we have to get the offense off and the field goal team on. I thought the coaches and the players, led by Josh out there, were very calm in handling that situation.
Sean, I know they're on the sidelines thinking the game's over at any point until it's 0-0-0. But does this one maybe, you're down 18 points with 4 minutes to go? Does that fall in the improbable category, at least?
God is good.
Especially with that opponent, right?
Yeah, glory to God, man. Glory to God. That's who deserves the credit first and foremost. Baltimore's got a great team, and they're very well coached. We were fortunate to win it tonight. Maybe we'll see them again at some point. We have the utmost respect for them, their coaches, players, and their organization. So overall, again, just you learn from these. Again, it's good to get the win and be able to learn from it. A lot to clean up in all three phases. So we go back to work in a few hours here and work on getting that cleaned up.
Going off of
Josh, in terms of in that fourth quarter especially, almost zero room for error. What did you see for him as he kind of orchestrated that comeback?
Extremely comfortable. And again, you guys watch us practice. We start every practice, at least 2 of the 3 practices that we get during the week, with 2 minute. And he's extremely comfortable in those situations, and the result's the result. I think too, Josh, but also the rest of the guys around him are extremely comfortable in that situation. So I think when you practice it over and over and over again, you try and hit as many of those situations, different time on the clock, different amount of timeouts, to put our guys at practice under some stress. They don't like it sometimes. They get a little bit mad at me, but it's for a good reason, so I'll take that.
What about the way he operates, not necessarily on the field, but on the sideline during those moments?
How Josh operates? On the sideline?
Yeah, on the sideline. Just he always
Before he
seems,
goes out
never
there.
seems to be this or this. He just kind of seems to be right in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know what music he listens to. That could play a part in it, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear what's on his, headphones or whatever they call them these days, AirPods. I have to ask my kids what they call those these days. Sony Walkman, No, Josh is he's always been like that, though. He wants the ball in key moments of the game. That's what the great ones, that's their mindset. That's what they want. That's what they do. And he's never out of it in his mind. And, shoot, it was 4th and, 15 or 16. And I'm actually trying to think, I'm going through it. I'm like, should I give him a shot right here? But I felt like there was still enough game left, and defense stepped up, made 3 big stops, 1 takeaway down the stretch, and next thing you know, we're right there at the doorstep. And great throw to I think it was Joshua Palmer on the outside breaker that got us in range. We felt like we had to get inside or at least into the 45 window for Matt, and we got actually obviously a little bit closer there. So great play calling by Joe. And Bobby down the stretch there as well, and being able to come in and coach Tabes and execute that extremely well. He's a veteran special teams coach, and led by Reed and Brad with the hold there in the operation. So it takes kind of communication through that sequence of, I think it was Keon that had the catch. We had the first down. They have 3 timeouts still, and we go bang, 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 and we're just trying to communicate. The headsets in those situations are not as easy as you'd think. We're trying to communicate what we want to do, how much time will be left if they take all 3, and we run it 3 times like we did basically, and then what it's going to entail for us to actually kick it with 4 or 3 seconds left. So a lot of mental gymnastics. A similar situation happened earlier in a game this week before half, actually, on a quick switch out like that. Ours was not as quick, but was for a game winner with no timeouts there, certainly. So well executed.
Sean, Palmer and Coleman, the first 3 quarters, maybe a little bit slower, but both of those guys stepped up in the 4th quarter and made big plays for you. What did you see from both of them?
Yeah, great to see. I mean, Keon, having the year, the offseason that he's had, and the camp. You guys have been out of practice again, and you've watched him develop. You've watched him grow. You've watched his approach, his maturity, right, this year, and the way he's developed. So credit to him, and the night that he had was big for us. And then Joshua Palmer, I call him Joshua to separate Josh and Joshua, but Joshua being new to us and new to our environment, he's really done a great job of, being him and adding his kind of spark to our offense, to our building, and the way he handles himself, again, as a professional.
How does your view of the defense look? I mean, you won the game. That's different, but defense in general, 40 points. How do you? It's just your assessment.
It's not. It wasn't even close to what I would expect us to be able to get to. We've got some young guys out there, and those guys, they want some of those plays back as well, and but just fundamentally executing what we do, fundamentally being in your gap, fundamentally, and that's not just up front; it's the whole defense, and then fundamentally tackling better. That's where it starts. I thought they did a better job of just calming down late in the game. Even really, I think we got them into a 3rd down and long, maybe the first 3rd down after half, and then we didn't execute well enough in that situation. So just we can be better, but I really do appreciate how they stuck together, and that's true of this whole team, right? So it wasn't going well. This is a really good team, really good opponent. We knew they were going to make some plays, and so you just got to stay with it, and it's the NFL. It's kind of life in the NFL, So, but you better believe we're gonna grind this week and put in the hours to figure out how we need to improve and get things. The goal is to improve each week, and so. But proud of the way the guys persevered.
You don't have forced fumble on your card, but what's your thought? You have to have
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, well, you punch at the ball. I mean, that's kind of 4-minute defense. Not that it was. I believe it was under 4 minutes, or maybe that one wasn't. But the drive before, where we got the fumble, I think was just outside of that. And you have to play them what we call tight. You have to be ready to challenge them. I thought Bobby's play calling down the stretch was really on point. and the players executed. They were in their gaps, they played with violent hands, and I believe it was Ed that punched it out. And then we were swarming to the ball, so it's playing the defense we would have loved to have played early in the game, quite honestly. So, but I appreciate the way that the defensive staff adjusted and the players adjusted as well. So if they don't do what they did, we probably don't win the game. So, you try and take the good, but also put the work in on the bad, and credit the guys. They played a complimentary fashion down the stretch. So it's good to see.
Sean, you mentioned Ed right there, not just the forced fumble, but he had a sack, he had a couple of tackles for loss. Just what did you make of his overall performance over the course of the game?
He played. He really did. He played big time and played big for us, and the sack and that play. And I mean, he's had a great start to the season, but even before that, came in very focused in training camp. Again, fun to watch players develop, mature, grow, and he's been great for us day in and day out.
Sean, been a lot of games played in that stadium. This is the final, season opener. Any thought of kind of like the magic surrounding it?
Listen, this one will be one of those stories that are told for a long time, right? Growing up, me watching the Bills from Pennsylvania and watching that playoff game, when you hear stories of people were trying to climb the fences to get back in, and they're saying, no, we actually opened gates, and so maybe some of that was happening tonight. You never know, but I'm sure people are going to wake up, some Buffalonians maybe, and maybe people just around the country and be like, well, wait, that happened, right? So I think people talk about it for a long time. We will live it tonight, but we have to move on. So.
Sal asked you about it a little bit ago. You got to coach until the end, right? You're always trying to figure something out. Did you have a moment when you knew? Like you felt confident, we're going to get this?
I think when our defense got the takeaway, I think that was a big momentum shift. Yeah, big momentum shift. And then when we got the ball, when we made that third down stop before they punted, I mean, that was a big stop right there. If they convert, that game's over. So I thought Bobby made a great call, players executed, and that's a big call right there, easier said than done. And we got the ball back and plenty of time left, no timeouts. We're good, so.
It's tricky. Were you at all surprised that they didn't go for it? It was 4th and 3. So it's
know,
like, because
yeah,
they get it.
Yeah, listen, it's resulting, right? I know why Coach did what he did, and I respect him. Like the day is long here. He's a great coach, and you don't make it, you hand us the ball, and basically almost in field goal range. So, he's a great coach, and you never know until you're in that situation what you'd really do. So.
When you kicked that last one, why did you do that? So
Yeah, wanted to make them play offense. So earlier in the game we went for 2. Earlier in the game when we had the penalty, we got the ball on the 1. We went for 2, didn't convert. I think we were down 15. Prior to, went for 2, knowing we're going to have to go for 2 at some point. Didn't get it again, so I just felt like our offense was tired. I felt like I wanted to make them play offense. Didn't want to put the game on that next play right there, and end up working out, really. So they had to play offense, and we got the ball back. So.
Sean, so you can enjoy this now and then go tomorrow. How do you make sure you do that? How do you make sure that you guys get right back to what the next task at hand is?
Yeah, I mean, this is, as you guys know, it's a week-to-week league, and this is, again, where these new players, young players, how we handle success is important, right? And the next opponent is home resting, right now. So, we're up late at night, and we got to start by getting our rest and handling wins and success the right way, and making sure that we have truth-filled conversations, that it wasn't all the way it needed to be up to our standards. So that's the journey of a season. That's the journey of trying to, move a team step by step in the right direction, and we have to embrace that growth mindset as we move forward here.